Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I'm grateful that the people of Rhode Island allow me to be here while they go through 3 feet of snow and are doing their best to recover from that. Mr. Chairman, thank you for organizing this hearing. Despite this committee's oversight role over the State Department, we have had, frankly, very few administration witnesses appear so far this Congress. So I am glad to have the Undersecretary here for this critical hearing. Mr. Helberg, thank you for testifying today and welcome. If you ask most Americans what the core of President Trump's foreign policy approach is, they probably give you one word: tariffs. And to the President's credit, he's been consistent on this. He ran on tariffs, he imposed tariffs on our rivals, and even more so on our closest allies and partners. Unfortunately, as the Supreme Court ruled on Friday, he has done so illegally in an end run around Congress. And he has done it at the expense of our diplomatic relationships. But the costs have been most disastrous for hardworking Americans. American families have shouldered the burden of Trump's tariffs through higher prices, bearing 90% of businesses' increased import costs. Trump's tariff schemes cost American families $1,700 last year. And American farmers and businesses have been forced to lay off workers as the economy has seen the lowest rates of employment growth outside of the recession years since 2003. And all that pain for what? Did it improve America's trade deficit? A flat no. Despite the president's promises, America's trade deficit only decreased by 0.2% last year. And we have not seen the massive onshoring of companies back to the U.S. that he pledged either. The U.S. manufacturing sector lost 70,000 jobs in 2025. But the president remains dead set on finding new ways to tariff. The worst part is the administration knows very well that the pain its sweeping tariffs have caused on the American people. Why else would they backtrack and issue countless exceptions, only adding to the chaos and economic volatility for American companies and consumers? Because they know tariffs are unpopular, House Republicans resorted to procedural hijinks to avoid voting on the Trump tariffs for nearly a year. We finally forced a vote earlier this month on Ranking Member Meeks's bill to stop the Canada tariffs, on which some of my colleagues across the aisle voted yes. But the vast majority of Republicans voted to protect Trump's tariff regime at their constituents' expense. Let's be very clear. The president's America First policies, his tariffs, his gutting of the State Department and USAID, and his tarnishing of NATO and other allies have left the United States weaker and more isolated today than we have been in decades. This administration has disrespected, lectured, coerced, and ignored the very allies we need to overcome complex global challenges, including the strategic competition with China. Now, I was glad to see the administration recently unveil promising new initiatives to bolster critical minerals and AI supply chains after China retaliated against the president's trade war with crippling rare earth export controls. But multilateral initiatives like this will not succeed so long as this administration continues to take its allies for granted and goes out of its way to disrespect them. I worry that if we don't course correct soon, the damage will, in fact, be permanent. If you continue treating your allies like your adversaries, they will eventually be forced to respond in kind. Our allies are already hedging, accommodating the president in the short term while also securing new investment and trade deals with China. It's no surprise that the Canadian and British prime ministers visited China last month for the first time in nearly 8 years. It's also no surprise that our oldest allies are discussing a Canada-EU-Pacific trade bloc that would exclude the United States. This is a clear case of cause and effect. This is America First in action, and it will leave America less prosperous and less respected on the world stage. America First is America alone. The American people deserve answers on how the administration's policies are affecting our global standing, alliances, national security, and economic prosperity. So I look forward to the discussion today, and I yield back.